The alarm bell started as a whisper, a quiet line in a court circular noting that on the 80th anniversary of VJ Day, the heirs to the throne would be conspicuously absent. No bowed heads on the cenotaph steps, no khaki-trimmed coat on the palace balcony, no children waving paper flags beside their grandfather's broadcast. Just a gap. A royal ellipsis. In the echo chamber of 21st century monarchy, a gap is louder than a cannon. Within hours, Reddit threads throbbed, hashtags mushroomed, and that old, cold prophecy resurfaced: all is not well in the House of Windsor. What electrified the rumor mill was context. Storm Flores had only just finished rattling Balmoral's slates. King Charles, eyes shadowed by chemotherapy, had recorded his address from a draft-proof studio, because the doctors forbade open air. Princess Anne, spine of steel, was flying night sorties between flooded farmsteads and forgotten veterans' homes trying to plug ceremonial holes. And over in Kensington, quiet, manicured Kensington, the Prince and Princess of Wales had nothing scheduled but private time and long-term planning. Translation for critics: another holiday. The timing felt surgical. VJ Day is more than an anniversary. It is Britain's final heartbeat of victory, the syllable that closes the World War narrative. Monarchs attend because memory is their currency. But this year memory will unfold without the couple who trade on modern relatability. William, decorated search and rescue pilot, president of the FA, future head of the armed forces, will not stand among the dwindling cohort of men who once lowered their rifles in jungle heat. Catherine, whose own family tree holds wartime factory workers and a code-breaking grandmother, will not place a gloved hand on a wreath of white chrysanthemums for the 71,000 UK lives lost in the Pacific Theatre. Their three photogenic heirs will remain unseen, comfortable, unruffled, while the sovereign's voice echoes alone through Buckingham's marble halls. Insiders tried to plug the void with briefings. The Waleses are finalising educational projects. There is a private commemoration planned at Sandringham. Family balance matters in August, a raw month that holds Diana's ghost. Yet none of the lines stemmed the undertow, because the undertow is about optics, and optics are merciless. The more luxurious the break, the harsher the glare when duty calls and voicemail answers. Watch how quickly the commentary widened from dates on a diary to existential bookkeeping. If they aren't working, one viral post hissed, cut the sovereign grant. Another demanded a spreadsheet of private jet emissions since May. Memes bloomed. A sand-blown postcard stamped greetings from Mustique. See you at the next coronation. Pollsters reported a 6-point dip in Republicans' rest energy, a drift, perhaps, but measurable. In the matrix of modern monarchy, every data point is a rivet. Too many pop, the fuselage wobbles. Add in the Wales' own recent moves and the narrative thickens. Catherine's early years animation blitz. 7 pastel grenades lobbed onto YouTube during Highland storms, won praise from child psychologists, but also cynicism. Audiences applauded the science yet noted the princess never left her desk chair. 5 minutes to email staff, critics sneered, now back to the spa. William's homelessness redevelopment in Vauxhall drew headlines for vision and controversy for price. Together the pair wield soft power adroitly, but soft power is only admired when framed by hard-edged sacrifice. VJ Day would have been sacrifice, travel, solemnity, grief, rain on a navy brim. Without it, the animations and the housing plans suddenly resemble digital postcards from a gated kingdom. Courtiers attempted a counter-narrative, leaking that William is consumed with behind-the-scenes strategy. Windsor requires a leaner body to carry Charles's fragile reign, and spreadsheets are signed at midnight. Perhaps true. But spreadsheets do not trend on TikTok, absence does. And Windsor's survival now hinges on a paradox older than the crown itself. Distant mystique keeps the jewels glowing, yet relentless visibility oils the gears. Pull back too far and the machine whispers redundancy. Older heads recall 1995, when palace lampposts bore bouquets for VE Day, and a newly divorced Princess of Wales walked alone among veterans, tears wetting her lashes. The monarchy felt human, raw, necessary. Imagine the tableau now. Charles's recorded homily airing over hushed crowds, while the Wales social team drops another scenic photo of Norfolk dunes. The ghost of that comparison fuels Reddit's cynics like oxygen to flame. What if the critics are wrong? Suppose William and Catherine are quietly staging their children's first weeks at a low-profile coastal school. Suppose they fear overshadowing a frail king's address. Suppose the risk of anti-monarchy protests at an 80-year Pacific commemoration outweighs the benefit of their presence. These arguments may be valid. But monarchy is theatre, and theatre's first rule is never leave the stage empty. Audiences invent stories to fill darkness. Stories metastasize into truths. Hence the tremor behind those pixelated comments, all is not well. They sense pattern. Andrew absent from duty yet secure in grace and favor comfort. Harry and Meghan monetizing estrangement. Charles forced to cull engagements, under oncologist orders, and signaling retirement by 90. Strip away the Princess Royal's iron rota, and the crown relies on a handful of working adults already maxed. If William and Catherine dial back even briefly, the staffing grid flickers like a Victorian bulb. People notice. Within the palace, solutions gather like storm clouds. One faction urges immediate optics rehab. Dispatch the Waleses to a veterans' hospice the week after VJ Day, cameras rolling, medals glinting. Another whispers longer vision, accelerate Charlotte's and Louis' grooming, nudge Beatrice and Eugenie into full-time duty, import Sophie's steadiness to frontline status. William reportedly resists expanding the roster, believing a slim monarchy gains clarity, not fragility. But clarity requires relentless presence. Anne can attest. Her annual 400-stop marathon keeps local papers printing royal ink. Remove those headlines and Republicans build bonfires with the blank space. Meanwhile, Irish bookmakers slash odds on a referendum before 2030. Scottish polling wobbles again. Commonwealth realms eye Australia's upcoming constitutional debate. Soft power must rove the map, or else myths dissolve into line items on a budget sheet. VJ Day would have beamed that power across Pacific allies, still weighing allegiance versus autonomy. Perhaps, behind Kensington brickwork, William and Catherine feel the tension more acutely than any Reddit skeptic. They know each misstep scorches decades of brand equity. They juggle children's privacy, monarch's health, and a press pack that devours them either way. But VJ Day is not gossip fodder. It is covenant. When the covenant appears optional, the monarchy's argument for subsidized security convoys and helicopter school runs thins to gossamer. And so the gap in the calendar throbs on every opinion page, an unanswered riddle. Who carries the wreath when the heirs are sun-dappled in private gardens? In that silence Republic sentiment finds its drumbeat. If William and Catherine plan a masterstroke, an unannounced hospital visit, a surprise wreath laid at dawn, they must deploy it fast. Storm florist taught that wind topples branches in seconds, optics topple legacies at the same pace. Until then Reddit's chorus grows. Royalty in 2025 isn't being taken seriously. Budget hawks tally pounds. Veterans frown at empty plinths. And the House of Windsor, its stone-soaked by rain and rumor alike, waits for its next move, knowing that every day the heirs remain out of frame, the monarchy's picture blurs a little more.